So you may have heard that TÜV Certification, a European-based certification body, have recently issued Vechain with the world's first 5-star rated blockchain service certificate. Now TÜV are a well-renowned and well-respected certification body accredited by the National Accreditation Body for the Federal Republic of Germany, and they are also accredited for use by a branch of the Chinese national government as well. And the fact that this organization have issued Vechain with the world's first 5-star rating in the blockchain space is great for Vechain's brand image and has big implications for the project and in turn vet investors. All of which we're about to explore in this video, but first remember that we are now doing monthly crypto giveaways on this channel, and all you have to do to be automatically entered every month is subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications. Okay, so a 5-star rating sounds great, and it really is a good thing, but just being given a 5-star rating in itself isn't significant. The question is, who gave the rating and what led to that decision? In order to know why a 5-star rating is significant in this particular case, we must first deconstruct the methodology which the accreditation body used to evaluate Vechain, so we then know the various factors specifically which warranted a 5-star conclusion. So when an accreditation body analyzes a crypto project, and not just Vechain but any project for that matter, what they are effectively trying to establish is how well that particular project have done what they said that they were going to do at their inception. In other words, how well does a project work? Now every project has its own roadmap or mission statement which at the inception lays out in no uncertain terms what the project intends to achieve, in what time frame they intend to achieve those objectives within, and of course how they intend to achieve those objectives with a step-by-step plan. And of course, naturally on paper, every crypto project sounds good, and their founding team will promise substantial achievements and adoption, and of course price appreciation to attract investors. But unfortunately, the image which is so often presented is far better than what actually happens, and so measuring actual progress against what was promised is a great way to determine how effective the project is, and also a great way to know what to expect in the future from that project or other projects which the team members are involved in. You know, if you have a particular project and they haven't kept up with what they said that they were going to do and they constantly fall short in every way, well, it's a strong indication that future plans are unreliable. But of course, if the team have managed to do everything that they said they would, and they've done it in a timely manner and so on, then we know that their word is fairly reliable. Now Vechain operate in supply chain management, providing valuable data insights to companies regarding their supply chains, and so Vechain have always planned to partner with real-world companies and maintain those partnerships by providing a consistently valuable service. And then in turn those companies would pay to use Vechain's services by accumulating and then spending VeThor, which is effectively the fuel of Vechain's platform. And for those who don't know, VET produces a VeThor dividend, meaning that the demand from these companies would increase the value of VeThor, which would then increase the value of the dividend which VET produces, and the market value of VET in turn would rise. So as mentioned before, the accreditation body aims primarily to establish how well the project have done what they said that they were going to do, and also generally how effective they are in real-world business and commerce. So in order to try and answer this question, they employed a variety of tests, for example applying stringent audit tests to Vechain's blockchain-based services to ensure practicality and proper accountability in the system. Additionally, Vechain were also required to provide evidence of regulatory compliance across a number of international jurisdictions which they operate within. Now the audit test proved accountability, which in effect means that just as Vechain intended to do when they set out, they have created an accountable and properly functioning system through which they can provide their services. And this level of proven accountability is actually evidence of practicality as well, because remember that the accreditation body are looking at Vechain from a purely utilitarian perspective, or in other words, they are evaluating Vechain in terms of their commercial viability and value proposition. And so they want to know whether Vechain are applicable in a practical working business environment, and of course accountability and therefore integrity of the system are absolutely fundamental to being a part of a working business. Of course, no company wants to do business with a project which offers a service which may or may not work and may have significant technical issues, and so the fact that Vechain were given an overall 5 stars and that the service audits were an important part of the test is a strong indication that Vechain are very competent in this area. Now combine this information with the fact that Vechain have landed and maintained a number of prominent partners, also known as proof of concept, and we now know that in addition to being very technically capable for commercial application, that there is also real demand from actual functioning businesses for Vechain services, and not just 1 or 2 businesses, but hundreds of businesses who operate in a variety of different areas, including high and low-tech businesses and everything from manufacturers to service-based companies. And actually, technical capability is absolutely indispensable. After all, if your product doesn't work the way which it should, then we can't expect that customers will want to use or buy the product. But actually, in addition to technical capability, a business also needs proof of concept. proof that there is real-world demand for their technically sound product or service. As the old business saying goes, there is no gain to be had in building a perfect product which nobody will buy. And the fact that Vechain have been able to prove both proof of concept and that their product works as it should do in a real commercial environment and not just on paper or in the plans, is evidence of their potential and a strong indication that the people running the Vechain project really are pushing for long-term success on behalf of the platform and also vet investors. Now these two factors individually are great, and together they are even better, but in addition to technical capability and proof of concept, there was a third very important factor which the accreditation body wanted to explore, and that was regulatory compliance on an international level, because no matter how good the product is, even if there is a lot of demand from potential customers, it all adds up to zero if the project does not have the infrastructure in place to facilitate the legal integration of businesses as partners on a global scale. But fortunately, based on these three factors, and by the way there were other tests and other factors which were considered and accounted for in the final analysis, but these three were the major influencing factors in my opinion, Vechain were given a 5-star rating, which means that in addition to fulfilling a number of other criterion, they proved to be technically capable, commercially useful on a proven basis, proved by Vechain's continuing and in many cases thriving partnerships. And Vechain also proved to be compliant from a regulatory standpoint across a number of legal jurisdictions. But why is it that this rating in particular is of any significance at all? Why should anybody care? You know, getting a 5-star rating is never a bad thing, but it isn't necessarily important either. What also matters a whole lot is who is giving the rating. If I were to give Vechain a 5-star rating based upon my own evaluation, I doubt that many people or companies would really care, because I don't have the widespread or well-established reputation on an international level. But the thing is, the accreditation body in this situation are internationally renowned, and they do have a strong reputation for quality and accuracy. And what's more is that they have accreditation from 2 national governments, and they have in-house blockchain experts regarded to be amongst the best in the business. You see, there aren't many large-scale accreditation bodies who have credibility and a trusting audience on an international scale, and so in this sense it really is a small world. And so a 5-star rating given to Vechain from TÜV Saarland is in my opinion roughly similar to giving Vechain the equivalent honour of being knighted by the Queen of England. It's a massive prestige for Vechain's brand, and it has commercially beneficial implications as well. Implications which are very good for the Vechain platform and could well be good for vet investors as well. And incidentally, I'm not going to get into discussing my views on the implications of this huge news for the vet investor, because there are a few very important points which I'd like to discuss, and if something is worth doing, it's worth doing properly. And so talking for a few minutes at the end of this video wouldn't allow enough time for their proper exploration. However, I will surely be doing that video in the very near future, so if you enjoyed this video and would like to see the upcoming video as well, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.